Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Guys, we just had data come out just now, 1 minute ago. JOLTS job report data dropping in. You see it right there above my head. There you go. Guys, it was a 7.357 million. Previously, this is a revision from 7.437 million, which means that they revised it down for JOLTS job openings for the previous month. Now where you're seeing it come in at 7.181, well below the 7.4 and the 7.3 million that they projected on consensus and forecast, meaning less job openings are available. That is weakening of the labor market, and we are getting a little bit of that market movement off of that. What does this mean? Very likely we're going to see those rate cuts in September. That is what this data means. Matter of fact, ChatGPT did a whole breakdown on it. We'll talk about that in just a moment, guys. We're going to get into the charts. We're going to get into the news. We're going to talk about what this data means, and we're going to talk about gold and why gold is very likely heading much higher. Projections on some charts, guys, hitting $8,000 has to do with overnight repo liquidity. It's almost gone. And we'll talk about what that means and explain it all to you guys. You guys know what time it is. Take your seats, get your notebooks out. Today's a very important class. Class is in session. Let's get it. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Guys, this is the show where we break down the macro economy. We look at the charts. We talk about the investing side of, the asset classes, the commodities, the stocks, the crypto, everything, and how it relates to the macro economy, right? And how that all is going to play into effect. So welcome to the show. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. And if you enjoy this content, smash that like button up. If you need a reason to smash the like button, it's my co-host, aka the Mexican Superman. Let's go ahead and bring him up here. OC, what's up, dude? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, pretty happy to see Bitcoin still on the same area. I'm taking my vanilla latte. Today I had enough chance to make myself a very hot vanilla latte. No orange juice included, but meh, all right.
At least there's
Still
no
all right.
OJ in your coffee today, man. We'll let you run with it. You go, bro.
Love it, love it. Oh man, it is. I mean, so good, so good. But other than that, pretty excited because we're heading to. I mean, today's Tuesday, right? Monday. Yeah, today's Tuesday. No, today's Wednesday.
No, today's Wednesday, OC. Today's Wednesday. It's hump day. What day is it? It's hump day. Let's go.
So, I mean, I feel right now that I realize that it's not Tuesday. It's hump day. I feel a little in the rush. We should be starting to get some positioning in the market. I think the market should be revealing itself its hands somewhere between today and tomorrow. Again, I don't like this kind of like a setup because that'll lead us to start trading throughout the weekend.
OC,
and I don't
let's
like
just bring your chart up. Let's just bring your chart up while we're looking at on Bitcoin. Let's go.
Let's get it. All right, so we're still on the same Bitcoin trading here. Remember, we already have taken profits at the exact same point right here yesterday. So, and we keep, half of our 1/4 of inventory, all right? So we're still aiming at 112 between 113K. Sorry for that. And well, then after that, I think we start seeing that we have a possible reversal. We have a goose head here. We looked at that goose head possibility yesterday in Chart Prince class. So, the next thing that we're expecting, it is a peak performance diamond all the way here. And of course, a dropping of the strength. What we're dropping also the bullishness that will lead us to a coming back down. Not really so far or until right now, not really to hit new lows, but at least to create a higher low. So our next possible entry for re-entry would be 108 if we have the retracement somewhere between 112 and 113. But remember, right now, we're still on a very nice downtrend. And right now, this downtrend is like beginner friendly because, guys, it's been like, hey, have you read the book? All right, here it is for you, right? So, I mean, it's very perfect. And that actually scares me because when things are very perfect, that is where get people comfortable and then they rock them. So be careful in this market right now because they might be able to or they want to pull your hair out. All right, so be careful throughout these areas and expect the unexpected. But so far we're doing pretty good, and well, there's no major outliers in the charts so far.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and jump in on the news side. I want to get into all of this so we can unpack the JOLTS jobs report. I'm actually sitting here reading on it right now. And then once we get into that, we'll come back. We'll take a look at how the markets are reacting to this data and what we can expect. Where should we be picking up some more? That's the question, right? So, or should we not? Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just sit on your hands, right? Let's go take a look at the news. We'll be right back and look at the charts with UOC. Hang tight, bro. All right, jumping in on the news, guys. Looking at the crypto into the cryptoverse indicator metrics right now, we are sitting at 31.5% still on the risk. Nothing to report right home about there. Looking at the total crypto market cap, though, we're at $3.851 trillion. The trend line on this sitting just below 4.3 trillion. That means we're down about 10.43% right now on the total market cap. Looking at the wristbands for Bitcoin, still sitting in that 50% wristband, moved to 53.4 from the 52 range there. And looking at Bitcoin dominance, and I told you, Bitcoin dominance was about to make a resurgence, and that's what that was. We talked about that on Monday. Where are we at right now? With stable coins, Bitcoin dominance sitting at 57.83. Without stable coins, it's sitting at 62.29. A lot of money moving over into altcoin or into stable coins right now, I should say. Looking at the Bitcoin, or excuse me, the alt season index. Let me refresh this so I can get a freshest number. We are at 59.57 right now. Still, we were at 61 this morning. Bitcoin getting a little bit of a move and absorbing some of that dominance. And now we're back into alt season index being in the 59.5 region. Currently, right now, neither Bitcoin nor altcoin season is in effect. Altcoins with the return of investment greater than Bitcoin is sitting at 28, less than Bitcoin at 21. Let's go talk about the bookmarks here on X marks the spot. Looking at the fear and greed index first, guys. Bitcoin's fear and greed index. We are back in greed. Even though price has barely moved, we're back in greed at 55. Looking at Ethereum, we're neutral, still sitting at 52. And then we're going to talk about this. Do you really want to know what I think about gold for the next 5 years? I'm going to talk about this. I think this is a little overzealous on some of these numbers that he's forecasting here, but we are going to talk about what is going to move gold higher and why I'm thinking that $8,000 is a level in play over the next year. Looking at the Kabisi letter also, if you guys don't know about this, yesterday was China's War Remembrance Day. I can't remember the name of the actual holiday that they had there, but Trump sent out a message to President Xi, gave his warmest wishes there. He said the big question to be answered is whether or not President Xi of China will mention the massive amount of support and blood that the United States of America gave to China in order to help it secure its freedom from a very unfriendly foreign invader. Many Americans died in China's quest for victory and glory. I hope that they are rightfully honored and remembered for their bravery and sacrifice. May President Xi and the wonderful people of China have a great and lasting day of celebration. Please give my warmest regards to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un as you conspire against the United States of America. Signed, President Donald J. Trump. Yeah, so if you guys don't know, China was actually being massively invaded by Japan in World War II, and we gave them equipment and trainers and advisors and military support. General Stilwell, yeah, it was pretty a whole lot of stuff that we did over there. And by the way, they barely even reference the United States on this holiday. They just say, foreign support. They don't say that the United States came in with equipment, weaponry, and everything else. So, yeah, you're welcome, China. Again, the United States creating our biggest enemies, like we always do. Let's look at the liquidations for the past 24 hours. Here, guys, looking at the past 24 hours, 96,296 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $195.82 million. Largest single liquidation order happened on HTX. It was an Ethereum trade for just a measly $1.7 million. There you go. Looking at the crypto bubbles here, guys, on the daily, mostly in the green. Couple of things that are red on the daily, on the hourly. Still seeing some sell off there on the World Liberty Finance. Glad I didn't touch that. Bitcoin right now up 0.6% on the daily, up on the hourly 0.4%. Ethereum up 1.9, and XRP in the top three, moving up and moving Tether out of the way, up 1.6. Any other big movers? Yes, Solana is up 4% on the daily. Other big movers: Bitcoin Cash up 4% on the daily. Avalanche up 4.6 on the daily. And we just no, we had Avalanche. We added Aave. Sorry, my bad. My bad. Nope, never mind. And Chronos moving to the upside again, still up 3%. Rounding out that top 20 is Leo Token down negative 0.8% there. Litecoin just below it. Probably, I mean, look at the 80.6 billion versus 80.76 billion. If Litecoin gets a little bit more of a pump and Leo Token continues to weaken, Litecoin likely moving back into the top 20. Let's go take a look at the stock market here as it currently sits. I do want to refresh this too. Make sure that we got this. There we go. Looking at the Dow Jones, down about 3.38% right now. The S&P is at 0.34, and NASDAQ up 0.92%. It was at 0.98, dropping a little bit there. Why are we seeing this? It has to do with Google, guys. Alphabet, aka Google, avoided its breakup in the antitrust case, and now because they were going to have to sell off, like Chrome was going to have to be separate, all this other stuff. They didn't so much win, but they came to a good negotiation. They were able to stay all together. They basically stepped away from that antitrust case without any hard times. And here's what Wall Street analysts had to say. Pretty much all of them. Alphabet Class C. There we go. Let's slow here. Bank of America raised their price target. JP Morgan has raised their target. Deutsche Bank has raised their target. Morgan Stanley says, okay, they push it towards 260. There you go. Wolf Finance also giving it a good bump there on its likely earnings. And that because of that news, guys, tech sector making a little bit of a move today, but we are starting to see a little bit of sell off. How about the Europe markets overnight? All in the green across the board there. Asia markets all in the red, except for the Nifty 50. The India market up about 0.5%. Look at the bonds and look at this 10-year yield, guys. It's pulling back. It's at 4.221 on a slight pullback right now. We are seeing this slow down. We want to keep this low, and right now it is happening. It's moving down. Looking at the energy sector, the only thing that was green on the daily right now is the natural gas sector. And then looking at gold. Holy smokes, I love gold. It's at $3,623. As the thumbnail said today, we think this is going much higher. Up about 0.85% today. Silver's at $41.40. My silver stash is thinking it's getting close to sell. I told you guys I would probably consider selling at $40. I'm actually thinking $50 might be a spot for me to go offload some silver. Copper is slightly down today. Platinum and palladium both up. Platinum up 2.9%, and palladium up over 3% here on the daily. But gold is crushing it, guys, continuing to move to the upside. Let's go over here and look at these JOLTS job report and let's talk about these numbers and why this matters. First of all, we did get a slight pullback this morning to 6.64 for the 30-year mortgage rate. And then at the top of the hour here, 14 minutes ago, we got JOLTS job openings. If you guys don't know what JOLTS is, it is the United States job openings refer to all positions that are open, not filled, open and available on the last business day of the month. Job openings are part of the job openings and labor turnover survey, which is called JOLTS, right? The survey collects data from around 16,400 non-farm establishments, including retailers, manufacturers, as well as federal, state, and local government entities in the 50 states and the District of Columbia. The JOLTS assess the unmet demand for labor, meaning how many jobs are available versus how many people are looking for jobs, right? And so if we come up here and take a look, job openings in the U.S. fell by 176,000 to 7.18 million in July 2025. It's the lowest level we've seen since September 2024 and well below the market expectation of 7.4 million. The largest decline came from the healthcare and social sector, minus 181,000 jobs there, which arts, entertainment, and recreation, which had negative 62,000, and then mining and logging was down 13,000. Regionally, openings dropped mostly in the South, followed by the Northeast, the Midwest, but they had a uptick of openings in the West. So those job openings, guys, we were expecting it to be around 7.4, 7.3 million job openings, dropped down to 7.18. And this indicates continuing weakening of the labor, which means that we're very likely going to see a rate cut here on the 17th of this month. Let's jump over there and give this a refresh. It's at 91.7 as of this morning. Let's see what it is now. 93.7. So there you go. That has gone up just like I thought it would off of that JOLTS job report. 93.7% chance that we get a rate cut here in about 2 weeks. About 2 weeks exactly. How's October looking? October is looking like a 97.9% chance of a rate cut. And December, finishing out the year, we're at a 99.6% chance of a rate cut, guys. Now the question is it going to be 25 basis points? I think it will be. But we are seeing here in October, if you take a look, there's a 51% chance that we get a 50 basis point rate cut next month. After we get through this month, we will have to wait and see how this plays out for next month, guys. But that's what we're getting off of that JOLTS job report. Don't forget, we still have other data this week coming in on this. It's going to be on Friday. 2 days from now, we're going to get a really big report. That is going to be your non-farm payroll. That is expected to be up. Unemployment rate expected to be up also. And so we will see on Monday or Friday morning, 7:30 a.m. my time, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right at the market open on Friday. We're going to be getting this info here coming out. Actually, it's an hour before the market opens, I should say. We're going to get non-farm payrolls and unemployment for Friday. So crypto liquidations levels right now, guys. Let's talk about that on Bitcoin. Based on the 1 month, let's give this a refresh so that we have the newest data in here. I hate giving you guys old data. Right now, max pain for short traders is 100 and we'll call it 119. It's 118,950. To the downside, to give the max pain on the long trades, guys, 107, 148, which is pretty much where I bought all of my crypto this week on the DCA plan. I'm down for it. Let's go. Currently, right now on the monthly, we are up 3 days into this month of September. We're up about 2.92% on the upside. Typically, though, September has seen downside. The average is negative 3.26 downside, negative 3.12 downside. So that's what I have there. Fed balance sheet. We're going to talk about this in a little while. This is the liquidity that I do believe is going to drive gold even higher. What effect will it have on crypto? I did a little bit of research on ChatGPT, and we'll talk about that. Let's jump over here back to OC. And I'm going to refresh my camera OC because I see a little bit of a lag and delay on it. But let's go ahead and kick it over to you. What are you seeing on some of the, let's talk about gold and let's talk about a couple of alts, and we'll come back and talk about why we think gold will go higher.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at gold in here. Let me just pull it up. And that should be somewhere here. Is perfect. Got it. All right, so gold. Oh my goodness. So absolutely. I mean, let's also compare it to platinum, the second best favorite show metals in the show, right?
I think you mispronounced Palladium.
Dude, you're always there. I love it. Love it. All right. I thought I would catch you off guard. All right, but I never can, man. I never can. All right, but the important part here is that we're pushing over gold. That is something that I really, really like to see, because you guys know that I've been holding gold for a long time, and we've been going back and forth for re-entry. Let me just switch back to a couple of my other charts in here, because we have an ongoing analysis in here. So yeah, let's go opening it anyway, and let's check that out in here. All right, so guys, give me just 1 second while I get this. Here it is. And there it is. So this is our analysis. All right. So we were looking for a breakout retest continuation. The retest did not play out exactly as we were expecting, but something that did play it out very, very nicely was, one, the very first short that we talked about this. So selling a little bit of the gold. And second, the next higher low in here that we were looking into for a continuation upwards. All right. So now it's time for me to zoom out a little bit and start cleaning this up just a little bit more, right? So let me just do that. Perfect. And we're creating new all-time highs, all right? Guys, this is not the time to go for a ride on gold, all right? If you did not enter what it was cheap or cheaper, this is not the time. And guys, This is not financial advice. You can go ahead and buy the top if you want to, right? But I mean, despite you have the chance, right? And this looks like this is going parabolic, and it is absolutely going parabolic, right? We need to break that parabola, I mean, sooner, because we're almost 90 degrees pointing up, right? I mean, if we do a box, let's do that really quickly, right? And that's how you might be able, all right, so to calculate a parabolic movement, so like something like that. So you can still see that from the first parabolic movement to where we are at this point, here it is, we're almost 90 degree I mean, pointing 90 degree, right? So it's not a perfect box. This would be a perfect box. And as you can see, we still have just a little bit more, right? Before we start going that 90 degree angle, right? So yes, we can go higher, and we are going to go higher, especially after these kind of numbers. But the important part is wait for these crumbles apart. It always does. I mean, look at this. For example, it's going, well, not parabolic because this is straight up, right? But it's quote unquote parabolic, and then it crumbles your entry point, all right? Goes parabolic, crumbles your entry to continuation, goes parabolic, you enter with continuation, and then you get stopped out, and that is fine. All right. And right here, when you have a lower high and then you're going for this movement, well, then you're short in here, right? And then you go with your, well, not short, but maybe you consider selling if you have some. All right. And then when you start hitting some support, you go once again for that pull up. All right. So let's go and analyze this once again. This is no different than this. I mean, come on. If we even measure that, all right, and let's even do it logarithmically, so we are not changing the size of this of the percentage, all right. This is right? Not even close. And how many opportunities we got in here? I mean, we have at least one, two, and then the third one, which was the retracement. All right. So don't worry, don't rush. You're gonna have your chance to jump back in. I just don't advise a friendly advice doing it right now, right? I mean, at the top ish. Something that I like to do about this, it is going for my predictive ranges, right? On one of my predictive ranges, we are already on a purple line. And sometimes, in most of the times when I look at my purple lines, this is an entry short pair. I mean, no questions asked. All right. I'm not gonna be doing this on gold, and that is because let's bring on my RSI. All right, and a classic RSI is still pushing higher. I mean, look at that ribbon on your classic RSI. And for some reason, this is on the way. Let me just get this out of the way. Here it is. And look at how this is curling up, right? So this is not good. Let me just get rid of that, and let's bring up the rest of our indicators. For example, our MVP oscillator right here. Look at that money flow, man. I mean, it is just pushing higher, and our proprietary money flow is just clipping. All right. So, I mean, we're still bullish, and the only way that I'm going to start going for a short is going to be when I start going bearish on my money flow or reversing on my proprietary money flow right here. Let's go visit our Prime Accelerator Pro Plus. Again, look at our money flow, look at our volume matrix. And well, the next area that I'm going to be going for maybe a short is going to be when I have my power bar, right? Very bright. And guys, take a look at this. For example, if we go into lower time frames, those are breakouts of parabolic movements, all right, in shorter time frames. So you could go into shorter time frames and then look for, again, bright spot, and then look at what we got here. Burst, all right, that burnout color, retracement on parabolic breakdown, crumble down, and then push up, all right, and then well, go on and so forth. So we can maybe go into something like the 30 minutes, and that will give you a little bit more of structure on those itty bitty tiny pauses, and wait for the next area of ranging, right? And then when you have a flip of the ribbon, when you have a flip of the ribbon, when you have a flip of the ribbon, and when you have a flip of the ribbon, of course, that could be your next possibility of entry. Already, if you're going to be jumping into gold, you need to understand that this movement is already overextended. Not only that, again, we're hitting the purple line. And remember that for me, it is in most of the cases a no question asked short. Again, I'm not going to do that right now because it seems like we could have a continuation. All right. Having said that, if you're gonna be longing in the next range, be aware that because we are overextended, we could be having a bigger retracement for within a continuation. All right. So if you're gonna be going in here, like with a flip of the ribbon, like something like that, all right, consider entering with a quarter of a position and then having a moderate stop loss. So if you get trapped, so you don't get trapped, and then on the better opportunity area where we have the most of our support, well, then you might be able to jump back in. All right. So that's what I got on gold so far. I mean, I'm pretty excited. If we take a look at, for example, the iShares Gold Trust. Oh, sorry about that. It is also going parabolic, like completely parabolic. And this is something that I like to see before it crumbles back down. So that is it for me, Piper. Let me throw it back to you.
Awesome. Let's bring you up here with me, and let's talk about why there's some news out there that we might be actually heading higher on gold, and it has to do with the Fed Reserve overnight repos. If you guys don't know what that is, we're going to break it all down for you here. But this, the Fed's balance sheet drawdown enters new stage as reverse repos are largely drained. Guys, Fed Reserve. I'm not going to go too much into the article because it gets very convoluted, but I got a high school version of it on ChatGPT. Fed reverse repo usage near zero, signaling a liquidity shift. Quantitative tightening continues, reducing the Fed's balance sheet from $9 trillion to $6.7 trillion. And currently, right now, they're sitting somewhere around like $26 billion, I believe, is what they have sitting right now in their reserve reverse repo area. Let's go over here. Simplified takeaway for high school level understanding. There you go. The Fed used to soak up extra cash via reverse repos. Okay. But now that is nearly empty. There's no longer a liquidity sponge to catch the excess money. At the same time, markets expect the Fed to start cutting rates soon. Lower rates make gold more attractive because it doesn't pay interest. As they start to lose that interest, this is a good place to put money because it is growing in valuation, which outruns the interest. It's up like 37% right now for the year. So add in uncertainty and U.S. policy risk, and gold becomes the go-to safe place for investors. Result, gold is rocketing up, hitting record highs as traders seek refuge from a potentially shaky financial system and an unpredictable Fed. Let's talk about gold. Let's jump over here. Gold just hit another all-time high, and its record-setting run may not be over yet, according to analysts. Gold's fresh price hit 3,500, now 3,600. By Wednesday morning, bullion had climbed to 35.37. Highs to trade at 35.34. U.S. gold futures for December delivery went to 3,600. Guys, again, right now on gold, we're sitting at 36.23. We're already there. So it's outperforming even the futures market right now. Let's go down here. Volatility in financial markets, as well as lingering concern about sticky inflation, economic growth, and geopolitical tensions have all benefited gold this year. Since the beginning of 2025, spot gold prices are up by almost 35%. So there you go. There's that number. Gold prices closed at an all-time high on Monday. The surge is largely driven by anticipation of rate cuts and persistent inflation fears, reinforcing their role as a classic inflation hedge against gold or against safe haven for turbulent times. Let's jump over here and take a look at this photo that I have here. Sorry about the flashbang. It's a white photo. I can't do anything about it. But here's the gold and silver are expected to go much higher in this bull cycle. Long term, very bullish as long as price is above the rising 3-year moving average. Guys, that green line there, that is the 3-year moving average right now. Okay, that green line you see running up, and you can see historically when we start a trend, it typically bounces and stays above that moving average. How much of a percentage? About 56% above that level is where we hit, and you can see that that's that box right there. Let's move this over here and just take a look. We just almost hit it there in that box. Guys, if we continue to ride this thing up, they're looking at $8,000 as another touch point based on its ebb and flow movement. You can also see down here that we are on a uptick. Once we get this these dark blue on the histogram here for the sentiment histogram, once we get that, we start to get a pullback, and that's almost where we are right now. So they're forecasting that we will see a little bit of a pullback, just like OC was talking about, but that as long as we stay above that 3-year moving average, likely will go back up. In the 1970s, the difference from that 3-year moving average went much higher following the removal of the gold standard and the 3-year moving average being relatively stuck as a result. Whilst the price rocketed up, an equally impactful monetary event could do the same again, taking us above that 56% line on the chart. So, gold likely will get some pullback here in the near future. They're thinking though, OC, because December is a $3,600 futures target. What I'm projecting here is that we will stay around that 3,600 range, maybe hit 3,700, come back into 3,600 by December, a couple of months away from now, and then get another rally if we are still sitting in this period of uncertainty because of the repo reserves being very low right now. The overnight repo, reverse repo for the Fed, the money is not going there, and they do have this other thing now, the SFP, that they can do emergency liquidity injections into the markets, right, from the Fed perspective, but it's never been stress tested. So if that, because of that uncertainty, if they do that and it shows cracks that hey, this new system is not working that the Fed's using for that quick injection of data of the liquidity, then likely gold will get another rally off of the back of that. And that's why I'm saying I do believe gold definitely will hit 4K sometime around Q1 into Q2 of 2026. I do think that there's a possibility that if we continue on this glide path of macro uncertainty and weakness in the markets, sticky inflation, all of this combined together, we are building the rail system for gold to do a rally up to the $7,000 to $8,000 range. And so much, much higher for gold. But what does that mean for Bitcoin? That's the big question, right? So if we're looking at that perspective, has Bitcoin adopted enough of the narrative at this point to say, look, I'm digital gold? And I still think that it's missing some of that. A lot of people, a lot of your everyday average Joe, not crypto Joe, but your everyday average Joe, still think that Bitcoin is magical internet money and don't understand it enough yet. I don't think Bitcoin is quite there yet. There will be some stability in Bitcoin price as people gravitate towards that narrative, but I think that overall, it's not going to be the rally that we see on gold if that continues to show cracks in the macro side. So I'm going to continue to DCA into Bitcoin, and if it does get sell-off moments, those are the moments that we multiply our DCAs based on wristbands times 3 times 4 my weekly DCA. I'm going to continue to do that. But I do think that maybe some gold, OC, and maybe PAXG. Can we take a look at PAXG and see how PAXG is looking? Maybe that is the way that we need to go. Is that chart up right now?
No. In fact, I have Platinum pulled up right now. I just want to flex a little bit because we're doing fantastic.
Well, we'll go to that. We'll go to
point.
Platinum after PAXG. Let's go look at PAXG first, and then you can go and flex. Do some OC Mexiflex, okay? What do you got for us on what do you got for us on PAXG, bro?
All right, let me just pull it up here. You got me a little bit distracted here. Let's go for PAXG here. PAXG, and we should have it here. Something that I don't really like about PAXG is that it's not a one-to-one to gold, but it's pretty close, right? So as you can see, it is, again, I mean, this is 30 minutes. Let's go to the 4 hours. This is still going parabolic. Let's compare it to the gold chart, and that is right here, right? So let's just load it. Let's just leave it loaded. And something that I don't like about PAXG is that it ranges a little bit higher or longer, right? So, for example, this is a 4-hour PAXG, all right? And this is Bitcoin, sorry, gold. Let's go to the 4-hour once again. Here we go. And you'll see that despite they're pretty close, this is more volatile, right? So, I mean, it's not a one-to-one, but they're pretty close, especially when we talk about volatility. It PAXG tends to drop a little bit faster and go a little more violent than gold, but that is just a small price to pay. All right, so PAXG looking pretty good, and it's gonna be moving exactly like gold. We're going parabolic. Let's wait for that crumbling that we were talking about. For example, something like in the 30 minutes to jump back in. Then this is, I know this is itty bitty tiny, but when we're talking about trading this versus gold, this is what might get you if you're expecting the same gold movement. All right, so just be careful on that, because if we go to the 30 minutes, this movement that is a pump and dump might be taking you out right before the actual movement. All right, so just be aware of that when you're talking about PAXG. And I think this is a fantastic way to buy. All right, this is not a sponsor anything, just a little bit of a not commercial, just so you know what's out there. All right, so there are other services, like for example Uphold. I'm not telling you to go and check out Uphold or anything like that, but you also have the facility, if you cannot get PAXG for some reason, to get something like digital gold throughout Uphold. Or I don't know if we have that. We haven't checked out, but we are also partnering with a new broker. Piper, would you like to talk about that broker and what is having as a perk?
Absolutely. BTCC is the exchange. It's right there. And one of the great things about that is you have access to a lot of just non-crypto assets over there, to include some tokenized stock options. JR knows a lot more about this than I do. I'm still getting my brain wrapped around how much is available through BTCC. But there's also some gold plays over there and BTCC. So you guys should check it out. We got a link down below in the description. And I actually got a message earlier from my rep. He wants to link up today for another offer that they got coming. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So, but yeah, you can go on and a lot more about it, because you are very familiar with BTCC. You've used them for quite a while. So what else? What am I missing here, OC? What am I missing?
So they offer a lot of stocks, right? And that is fantastic, because you need no KYC, and now you can open up a new opportunity of investment. And guys, remember that last
Did you say
year
no
I had,
KYC?
yeah, no KYC.
No
No
KYC.
KYC.
Amazing.
That is fabulous, man. And it gets me going, because if you guys remember, and if you didn't know about this, a little bit of a story. I got a knock from the Mexican SEC, right? Uncle SEC came out and said, pay up, bro, pay up, right? So, oh yeah. So I need to, like empty out my pockets and take a break from the stocks market and the indexes, right? So this actually opens up a new opportunity for me to pay my taxes, of course, Mexican RSA, right? Of course, as a good citizen, but also have some diversity within the same platform and not having to move back and forth. So that gives me a little bit more flexibility. But yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I'll let you guys know what we get out of today's conversation with our rep from BTCC, but they are working on some stuff over there for us. We're just getting coordinated with them. I did a lot of research before I touched them to make sure that they had good liquidity reserves and all that stuff. So yeah, BTCC, solid exchange. We still have Blowfin, but BTCC offering a whole lot more with no KYC. So check out the link below if you guys are interested in trading with us on that platform, and supports the channel and supports the team. So OC, what else are we seeing? You were talking about platinum. I know you want to do a Mexaflex, so let's go check out platinum and see what you got on there, bro.
All right, so let me be honest here. It's not so much of a flex, right? Gold's still pushing and still being the king, all right? This is the 30-minute chart, and it looks amazing until we go back to the 4 hours, but I think we still have that potential, all right? So that's why I'm bringing this up. So look at how we just had this little retracement, right, for creating that flag, bursting out throughout the flag, and right now we're making a break of structure, right? Something important about that break of structure is that we're having a flip of the ribbon right here. And if you're really feeling very risky, this could be your break of structure entry. Caveat here, and you need to understand this, all right? When you trade a BOS, all right, or break of structure based on smart money concepts, well, that you could be buying the top, all right? Because look at this, for example, we're visiting previous highs, and then right before closing, boom, it goes low. So that's why it's very, very important to have a stop loss, or at least a means to sell your platinum faster, depending on what platform you're trading it. All right. Just saying, this could be a nice possible entry if we can get something like, for example, this kind of breakout structure, right? Or if we have this kind of breakout structure, right? But in the smaller, our target would be at least the previous highs at 1,509. And if we bring up our predictive ranges, there we go. We have a liquidity zone right there. And right now we are breaking. This is what it gives me hope, right? That we are breaking out of a retail zone. All right, so we went back down. We're making that breakout structure on that retail zone, so that give me high hopes to not only reach the 1,500 ish zone, but maybe even surpass it. Now that we're seeing gold moving that high, some of those metal ish gains might be dripping down to other metals, like, for example, as we talked about, platinum, like, for example, right here on silver. Look at silver. It's playing out very nicely. This is the 4-hour. I was expecting for it to range a little longer, but it actually came up with a big parabolic movement. Platinum, we just touched on platinum, and of course copper, that haven't yet made their move, but it's on the way to create maybe a breakout structure. So keep your eyes on copper. On copper, I believe that we might have a retracement, all right? A little retracement, and then your opportunity. So that's what I got on the metals. Let me know if we should be going into the altcoins size or part.
I just want to show you, looking at here at Palladium. Palladium got a nice bounce right here on the 27th of August, right on the dynamic reactor, and created the wave move. Money flow started to come up. Looks like it's pulling back a little bit right now, but look, volume coming out of a low volume area on the volume matrix, now giving an upside move. And historically, we do these nice little cup patterns here, these nice little scoops to new highs. So we just started a new one. Is this about to go even higher, OC? I'm just saying, Palladium.
Let's go.
Hashtag Palladium. Hashtag F Platinum. I'm just saying.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
All right, OC. What do you got for us on the alt side? We got Solana moving today. We've got Ethereum is moving today. And then really the big one that I think that we need to talk about. Let me go back here and take a look. Hold on one second. Yeah, Ethereum, big mover, and then we got some AI movement going on today. Virtual and AI XBT is moving, and then ENA, dude, ENA is ripping off. So let's go take a look at the altcoins. Let's see what you're wanting to show us here, and then also, before you do those, and I'll give you time to pull it up in your chart, for A to Ace in our chat, can you please take a look at WMTX, World Mobile Token, WMTX. They are about to go live on Kraken. They're about to be offered on that exchange, and they've been doing some moves lately. So let's go take a look at WMTX first, and then we'll get into your alt setups. What you got for us, OC?
All right, so let's go. World Mobile Token, WMTX, and I think, well, I don't see a WMTX. Am I doing something wrong here, Piper? Kraken, got it. Versus US.
Well, it's just now getting listed on Kraken. It's not there yet. It's not officially there yet. So, yeah, World Mobile Token. Just type in World Mobile, and you'll pull up all of them, and you'll find the where it's listed at.
All right, perfect. So it seems like there you go. We have one on KuCoin and another one on Mexi. Let's pull them those up to see how they're looking.
There you go. Perfect. Yep.
Yeah, perfect. So let's go for this one on Mexi. I think it has the most history. Just like quick eyeballing it. All right, so this is actually not looking that bad. All right, so far, remember this is a new coin, so there's nothing here. If we're about to be or if this is about to be pushed, this is still a good area for entries. All right, we still need to be careful, because as anything that will be newly launched depends on the hype that it have, right? But haven't said that, or have everybody known that, well, then most likely this is going to pump. How far up? Well, then let me just go for where is the liquidity at, right? And there are easy ways to look for liquidity is where we see this kind of hiccups, right? In this case, look at how big of a hiccup we got, but we can reduce it back to something like this, right? So we can do this, and then the easy peasy way to kind of like estimate how far could it go is going to be between 0.2258 and 0.2643. And because of the low volume so far of this represents, let me bring up a ruler or something like that. There we go. This represents, for the worst case scenario, a 21% no leverage, and with leverage, and up to a 42% no leverage. With leverage, you could be 10x it, or 5x it, or 3x it, or whatever x you want to do it. But remember, still be careful with this movement, because despite this could be looking very juicy, if it rolls down for whatever reason and then pumps up and you buy right here, you could be buying the top, right? So have a plan. What would my plan or my approach could be? All right. And there is a personal scenario. So thinking that it could go all the way up in here, I would do something like a quarter of an entry and no leverage. All right. And then reallocate another position somewhere around here with another quarter of an entry. This makes 1/2 of an entry, and I still have another half of an entry, which absolutely I could be allocating all the way down here, right? And I don't really care if it's a one quarter, and then a
Yeah, and
half of an entry.
if you look at that level
Mhm.
down there where you're talking about, if you go to the left on the chart, you'll see that is a very key support area historically. Is down in that zone there. Yep, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, little right there. Yep, that whole zone there.
Oh,
If
nice.
you yeah, there's a whole zone down in that area right there too. So
Absolutely. Let's bring up our indicators and we'll see that exactly that, right? What Piper mentioned. We have a big number one resistance in here. So we are on that resistance. So let me ask you, would you buy on resistance? I wouldn't, right? Not for now, or not right now. And that is why we could be going for a quarter of a position, just because of the fundamental news that is about to be pushed into another into Kraken, right? Or into another broker. So that could be my strategy if I don't want to lose exposure, because at the end of it all, if you want to hit off the lottery ticket, all right, you need to get the lottery ticket in the first place, right? So you need exposure to participate within the possibilities to win it. So this is nothing like Bitcoin, just so you guys know, but I would treat it such as a lottery ticket. All right, do you want to win it? There's small chance for it, but you can go for it, maybe buy one or two, something that doesn't really affect your wallet for now. And then if you are late to the party, just wait it out, wait for the pump to play it out, wait for the dump to play it out, and that might take you up to a month. All right. And then you start looking for re-entry zones. All right. So don't rush. If we see that a huge parabolic pump, we're going to be seeing that huge parabolic dump. All right. So do not rush it. Go on your own terms. And remember, the market is always going to be there. It's not going away at any point soon. All right. So as long as the US still exists, well, I think we got a crypto basis for a long time ago. But that is my opinion on World Mobile Token. You want me to go over ENA and maybe XRP and some
yep,
other coins?
go for it.
Perfect.
Cook, bro. Mexican
Let
spaghetti. Let's
let's
go.
go. Let's get it right. ENA, not looking that bad, not looking that shabby. It had a pretty good move right near, like right here after everything else. But something important about ENA, it is its position on the overall market. All right. So for example, look at how everything is looking here in the macro market. Let me just get rid of everything, because we talked about previously on how to range trade and how to take a couple of those very nice trades that we have done. All right. Something important, it is the pattern. Look at that. We have the little hump, the bigger hump. We are creating a big triangle here. And right now, we could be even like this. And yeah, that would be a breakout. So this could actually means that we could be hitting the previous stops in here to create maybe a double top or a further continuation. Usually when I see this kind of movements, I rather go first for a pullback. All right, and you can see that we still have an alert right there at 0.59. And then on that pullback, well, go and take those highs. The first pullback haven't played out, so we could be having something like that instead of this, or instead of this movement like this. So you're not late to the party, especially because we are still pushing higher on a possible reversal zone. We're still having some money flux in here, so you could maybe enter on that little hiccup or that reversal. So just be careful in here. Give it its time, and you might be able to jump back in as we have some structure. If you really want to go and have it more granular, go to the 30 minutes and wait once again. Remember to play it out with some structure and buy low, sell high, and keep just a little bit for your Hail Mary target. Same thing, same deal here. Wait for the retracement. All right, let me clear this up. Wait for the retracement and buy low, right? Sell high, and then keep a little bit for your Hail Mary target. So that way you're going to be a little bit more secure and always use a stop loss. Another one that is playing out very nicely, it is XRP. Look at that. XRP is not the same as ENA, all right? Something important different in XRP, it is that, I mean, since it has outstanding performance against the SEC, it is being adopted very fast throughout DeFi. We had that little pumping here, and it has held its position throughout whatever had happened. I mean, welcome XRP, the new USDT, all right? Something important about this is that we are hovering above the ranging here, and it gives me hopes on the overall market as long as we don't break back into the range, and that's why I have two alerts in here to go for a possible long. All right, I'm going to be waiting exactly for that. A buy low, which we are low, but I'm not going to be buying until I'm above the dynamic reactor. And that is because if I break back inside that this box in here, most likely I'm going to hit the 2020 zone if I get acceptance back again into the range, right? So this is looking juicy, but still we are right there on the line between make or break, all right? So regardless what happens, we just need to give it some more time. And I know I'm also right there with you guys. Like, come on, already do something because I want to trade it, right? Let's go and check out something that it is moving, and we could be having a possible entry, and that is Binance. We were talking about Binance for a couple of days, all right? We are already having this push through, all right? Or was not quite there yet, a push through, but seems like based on this last candle that we're hitting that area. Remember that in previous candle, the previous class, we actually give it a little bit of that buffering zone, all right? But something important is that I'm keep eye on it, and look at that, we are breaking through the zero line, and we have a decisive candle. If we are able to go through, I think we might be able to go and hit this one up. All right, where is going to be your entry? Well, then at the breakout or at the retest, you be my guest and pick your poison. All right, important. If you are playing out the breakout, at least set your stop loss at the vertex of your triangle. All right, that will keep you safe in case Bitcoin decides to visit the lower levels, and it's gonna absolutely call out Binance to go with it. Because I know we already have gone through Bitcoin, but let me remind you that we are going for a resistance zone right here at previous highs, and we already turning red at the end.
Drop your dynamic reactor on. There you go. 4 hour. We're hitting it right now. I was getting ready to talk about that. Right, that's the level that I talked about this week. I said, look, we've got a 4 hour dynamic reactor coming in at about 112,600. So yeah, I'm gonna come back to your chart. I just wanted to, so I wasn't just a voice in the ether space. Yeah, we're hitting a resistance level right now, which is that 4 hour dynamic reactor on Chart Prime. So
yeah, absolutely. So remember, right now Bitcoin is on resistance, right? And we have a real chance to roll back around. So despite many cons might be looking very good to trade at this point, well, I don't know about if you remember every single time that we have a big rejection in Bitcoin, what had happened with the altcoins, all right? With most 99% of the altcoins, they retrace with Bitcoin and they retrace faster than Bitcoin. And as Piper was mentioning, the Bitcoin dominance right now, it is actually on Bitcoin's side, all right? So having a Bitcoin retracement might really hurt the altcoins. So that's what I got so far, Piper. Let me try it back to you.
Awesome. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, we're getting that rejection right now, right at the dynamic reactor. We'll have to wait and see. Money flow is looking decent, but volume is starting to flatten out. And if we do get a pullback here, by the way, on my chart, I don't know if you didn't see this on OCs because you don't have hidden divergences on, but we did print a hidden bearish divergence here on the 4-hour also. So watch out. This level that we're at right now could see a pullback. Watch for about 110,532. That would be the 1.236 fib level there on our trend-based fib extension. So that's what I'm watching on Bitcoin today, man. Overall, though, I'm waiting to see what these job numbers look like on Friday. I think it's going to be a huge day for the markets. I hope you guys got something out of today's show. Don't forget to tune into OC. We're going to wrap it up here. Tune into OC later on today, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for Trade Live with OC. And then tomorrow morning, BC Port Corp will be back with Good Morning Crypto. We'll be right here at the same time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, breaking down the news, the charts, the markets, the macroeconomic data, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Until next time, guys, trade safe, use some risk management. Peace, love, and profits. We're out.
That's the rap. Chart stack data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual, signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done. We'll see you at the next one.
What the fuck they're doing?
Morning market report out, 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 out.
Boom shakalaka!
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude!
Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?